Namaste, namaskaram, vanakkam, namo namaha, jai Ganesha. Please visit our website at classicalyoga.org, and there is a donate button if you'd like to help us out. And please stand up for the Hindu, yoga, religious, spiritual, scientific, philosophical lifestyle. Today's podcast, Pade Pade, step by step, Sutra by Sutra, thread by thread. In life, we eventually learn the lessons of taking things one step at a time, one thread at a time. Interestingly, the Sanskrit word sutra became the Latin and English suture, or thread. Think of the clothes you're wearing at this moment. They all started with one single thread, and then another and another. And then with the skill of weaving, it created a strong fabric. What a metaphor for life itself in all aspects. We start out with a single step, a single thread, and keep going step by step, pade pade, thread by thread, sutra by sutra, and we get to our goal or the finished product. Now in the Hindu Yoga Dharma, we love all the animals, and especially the elephant, which is obviously one half of Ganesha. And watch how elephants walk. Slowly, step by step. Tremendous endurance. Not in a hurry, but just they keep going. And notice how when elephants often are seen walking together, they'll hold the tail of the one in the front. So we follow the leader. It's a wonderful thing in a family to understand the mother, the father, the children, and maybe extended families. You might have a great-grandmother, a grandmother, a mother, a child. As we go step by step, following each other's lead, and eventually we start to take the lead on our own as we grow and mature. Life is essentially about formulas of how to get through this life. In the Hindu Yoga Dharma, we have a wonderful formula which we can express in generalities for all to understand, but then we respect the specifics of how these are carried out within the Hindu Yoga Dharma, Hinduism, the Hindu religion. So let's think about this for a moment as we go step by step, thread by thread. And remember that the Yoga Sutras are just that, the thread by thread understanding of this process of inner illumination, self-realization, Atma Darshana, as Hindus would call it. And it's a step-by-step procedure. And note that we don't take any thread out of context. For example, in today's so-called Ashtanga Yoga, what these people have done is look at one very limited portion of this great fabric of the Yoga Sutras, completely ignoring the rest of the fabric, the body of work of the Yoga Sutras. So it becomes a very flimsy product at best. So let's look at life in general. The first step is to strive to be an ethical and an honest person and serve others. I mean, think about this. When we first come out of the womb, we are served by our parents until we learn to serve also. So service is the key of life. We are being served by Bhumi Mata, by Mother Nature. We've talked about this in other podcasts, but just pause a moment and think that we are being served every day with the vitals: air, water, food. Contemplate that. We're being served by life itself. So service, ethics, this is the foundation of life. Hindus call this karma yoga, which are specific Hindu understandings of ethics, and seva, or selfless service. The next natural thread or step is bhakti yoga, or devotion. And devotion really is a secret ingredient to life. Without full devotion to yourself, to your family, to your spouse, to your children, to your job, to your religion, we won't be successful. Devotion is the necessary step. However, the first step must be ethics, or karma yoga. Why? Because we could be devoted to the wrong thing for decades. It's often sadly humorous when dialoguing with today's spurious yoga. And remember, real yoga is all about the Hindu religion. taught by Hindus and not for a fee. When querying these non-Hindu, spurious yoga teachers, they'll often tout that they've been doing quote-unquote yoga for 20, 30 years. Well, we can be doing the wrong thing for decades, for our whole life. Doesn't make it right just because we've done it for a long time. So devotion is extremely important in life, but it has to be predicated upon ethics. Remember, the mafia, career criminals are very devoted to their nefarious activities. Like a scientist, uncovering, discovering, and then applying the various formulas of life should be an exciting process. You can listen to our podcast on acronyms for life as we go through many common sense formulas that can enhance our life experience, such as the Pade principle, the formula of beliefs which produce our attitudes, which produce our actions. The gas principle, Guru, Ashram, Shastras, Sadhana, which defeats the negative gas of genetically acquired slavery syndrome. Something for all Hindus to seriously think about. And in the Hindu Yoga Dharma, we have the classic Pade, Sutra by Sutra, Ashrama Dharma. From a student, brahmacharya, to a householder, grihastha, to a retiree, vanaprastha, to the final preparation for physical death, sannyas. So these life formulas are to be discovered, uncovered, and then, importantly, applied to our life. Because there is a way out, especially when we're stuck in a morass of chaotic thinking, of heavy negative drama in our lives. For from day one, so to speak, we've all built an individual life, an edifice around our essential being. As babies, we were just the manifestation of the pure essence of Satchidananda, pure consciousness, pure existence, pure energy, sound energy, light energy, heat energy, and the feeling of bliss or love. And as we continue to grow, step by step, thread by thread, pade, sutra by sutra, we built this edifice of who we are at this very moment. Depending on how old you are listening to this podcast, you have created a persona. And hopefully it's been a beneficial one, a healthy one that is helping you to go through life in a fairly peaceful and coherent way. We often use the cliche, we live in ivory towers, meaning we have built this edifice, and sometimes it is very confusing at best, as we may in a negative way, quote unquote, wake up one day and say, what have I become? Have I become this greedy, angry, lusty, delusional person, totally absorbed in the outer world of Maya? Maya is our Hindu understanding of this world that we live in, the world of appearance, which can be a good show, if you will, or it can be a very negative, unwholesome, unhealthy drama. So for some of us, and if we're honest, there may have been at least a few points in our life, hopefully not a lot, when we have felt really stuck. How did I get here? What have I created? So let's use a little story here within Hinduism to show us that there is a way out when we have built these negative ivory towers, if you will, until we finally become almost sick of ourselves when we've created a very negative persona. So imagine we're off in a deserted land and we have built this edifice around us with maybe natural made blocks of mortar, and we've built this edifice of who we are physically, mentally, emotionally around us, and we didn't even realize what was happening as we built this. Imagine a square block tower like the Washington Monument. So we've built day after day, step by step, sutra by sutra, brick by brick. We've built this edifice, and we didn't realize that we were building this high scaffolding, if you will, or structure from which one day we realize, wait a minute, I'm trapped here at the top. How do I get down? How do I get out of this situation that I've created through decade after decade of unwholesome living, of negative dramas? How did I get stranded up here? See the metaphor? So at that point, we may call out for help, and this is when people start a deep inner search. They may start reading various books, go to self-help groups, a lot of self-help books, that's a big industry. They may beseech the aid of various individuals or calling out for help. And inevitably, there will be an almost endless list of charlatans offering one or more quick help techniques. Throw down your money. This technique will help you. And so the delusion goes on and on. So finally we may call out and we find a teacher. This is in Hinduism what we call the guru, who really has our best interest at heart, who can really help us get down from this ivory tower that we have built. So imagine, again, using the image of the Washington Monument, you've built this huge edifice, and how are you going to get down? There's no ladders that can reach up there. There's no vines to swing from. All you can do is jump, and then that's obviously has a fatal outcome. How do we get down? So here's where the wise guru, who perhaps at one lifetime or another built their own tower and got help from another compassionate individual. So here's where we employ this Pade, step by step, sutra by sutra process of EDME, ethics, devotion, meditation, enlightenment, or to the Hindus, karma yoga, bhakti yoga, raja yoga, jnana yoga. So the guru consents to aid, to help. So doing the work, the karma yoga, trying to help this person out of the ivory tower that they have built around themselves, the persona they have built. So the guru finds this black beetle that lives in the forest. And this black beetle, as long as it's on the scent of something sweet, it will travel in a straight line. So now, coconuts are sacred to Hinduism, and you can actually make rope out of coconut. If you open up the brown coconut, you'll see the fibers inside. And one single fiber is very weak, but wound together they can make a strong, strong rope. Good metaphor for life. As one single person, one single thread in your life, we're very weak. We need to weave together the fabric of our life with family, friends. So the guru takes a very fine thread of this coconut husk and ties it to the foot of the black beetle. And then finds a little bit of honey and smears the honey on the nose of the black beetle. And then points the black beetle straight up the ivory tower. So up goes the black beetle with total focus, following the chosen path. Find your chosen path in life. When it comes to religion, find one that suits you. Follow it to the top before you ever try to teach it. So the beetle climbs up with this very, very thin thread. Gets up to the person calling out at the top of the tower, beseeching help. So grabs a hold of this fine thread, to which the guru at the bottom ties a little bit stronger thread. And you see how it goes? And then the devotee gently pulls up the fine thread till it gets to the little bit thicker thread, and so it goes until it becomes finally a rope, pulling up and up, step by step by step. This is the devotion. So the guru has decided to help the individual with karma yoga, ethics, doing the right thing. And the person at the top has finally realized they need to do the right thing in life to get down from this ivory tower, this persona they have built. So with full devotion, on both the part of the disciple and the guru, the shishya, the chela, and the guru, the rope gets pulled up until it becomes a thick, thick rope with concentration so it doesn't break. This is Raja Yoga, meditation, concentration, until finally the rope is strong enough to be anchored at the top of the tower and the devotee can safely climb down. The illumination experience, Gyan Yoga or Jnana Yoga. So, what seemed to be an impossible task initially, how do I get down from this ivory tower that I have built, this persona that I have built? There is a way out, but it has to be done Pade Pade, step by step, sutra by sutra, thread by thread, to create the fabric, the wholesome fabric of your life. And we're all in this together. And we all make mistakes. That's why as Hindus we understand reincarnation, lifetime after lifetime, trying to figure out these life formulas. So just try and be as ethical and honest as we can be. And when we're not, just humbly admit it. Be fully devoted. Be fully concentrated, meditative. Keep repeating this process. It's a spiral. Spiral is the meaning of the word evolve. Evolution is a spiral. As we keep repeating round and round, but we go a little bit higher each time, like walking up a lighthouse. Pade Pade, sutra by sutra. If you ever get a chance to walk up a spiral staircase in a lighthouse, do that. And you'll get the visual experience, because what happens? You've just ascended, you've gone up, you haven't gone laterally, you've just gone vertically, and you reach the top and you become the guiding light for others. So be a lighthouse. Be a beacon to others. Coming out of the negative experiences of life where we often can be a con, instead be a beacon. A shining light to others. In light we're meant to be. Realizing our inner essence of love and light and energy with emotions, mind, and body. And send out this love, light, and energy to others and wish them well. Wish them peace, wish them fullness and tranquility. As we go from untruth to truth, humbly admitting our ignorance as we move to an ever more enlightened state, and realizing along the way the inner essence, the nectar, the amritam of love and light and energy, Jyoti Shakti Ananda Shanti to the Hindus, Sat Chit Ananda. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.